Solar-powered calculators, homes, and cars are just a few things that use energy from sunlight. In a way, you are also solar-powered. Of course, sunlight does not directly give you the energy that you need to play a sport or listen to this lecture. That energy comes from ATP. Molecules of ATP are often made from the breakdown of sugars. But how are sugars made? Plants capture some of the energy in sunlight and change it into chemical energy stored in sugars. Chapter 4, Section 2, Overview of Photosynthesis. Key concept. The overall process of photosynthesis produces sugars that store chemical energy. Main ideas. Photosynthetic organisms are producers, and photosynthesis in plants occurs in chloroplasts. First main idea. Photosynthetic organisms are producers. Some organisms are called producers because they produce the source of chemical energy for themselves and for other organisms. Plants, as well as some bacteria and protists, are the producers that are the main sources of chemical energy for most organisms on Earth. Certainly, animals that eat only plants obtain their chemical energy directly from plants. Animals that eat other animals and bacteria and fungi that decompose other organisms get their chemical energy indirectly from plants. When a wolf eats a rabbit, the tissues of the rabbit provide the wolf with a source of chemical energy. The rabbit's tissues are built from its food source, the sugars and other carbon-based molecules in plants. These sugars are made through photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process that captures energy from sunlight to make sugars that store chemical energy. Therefore, directly or indirectly, the energy for almost all organisms begins as sunlight. Sunlight includes a wide range of radiant energy, such as ultraviolet radiation, microwaves, and the visible light that lets you see. Plants absorb visible light for photosynthesis. Visible light appears white, but it is made up of several colors or wavelengths of light. Chlorophyll is a molecule in chloroplasts, like the one shown on the screen here, and they absorb some of the energy in visible light. Plants have two main types of chlorophyll, called chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Together, these two types of chlorophyll absorb mostly red and blue wavelengths of visible light. Neither type absorbs much green light. Plants have other light-absorbing molecules that absorb green light, but there are fewer of these molecules. As a result, the green color of plants comes from the reflection of light's green wavelengths by chlorophyll. Second main idea. Photosynthesis in plants occurs in chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are the membrane-bound organelles where photosynthesis takes place in plants. Most of the chloroplasts are in leaf cells that are specialized for photosynthesis, which has two main stages, which are represented on the screen here. The two main parts of chloroplasts needed for photosynthesis are the grana and the stroma. Grana, whose singular is granum, are stacks of coin-shaped, membrane-enclosed compartments called thylakoids. The membranes of the thylakoids contain chlorophyll, other light-absorbing molecules, and proteins. The stroma is the fluid that surrounds the grana inside a chloroplast. The light-dependent reactions capture energy from sunlight. These reactions take place within and across the membrane of the thylakoids. Water, which is H2O, and sunlight are needed for this stage of photosynthesis. Stage 1. Chlorophyll absorbs energy from sunlight. The energy is transferred along the thylakoid membrane. Water molecules, again H2O, are broken down. Oxygen molecules, O2, are released. Stage 2. Energy carried along the thylakoid membrane is transferred to molecules that carry energy, such as ATP. The light-independent reactions use energy from the light-dependent reactions to make sugars. These reactions occur in the stroma of the chloroplasts. Carbon dioxide molecules, CO2, are needed during this stage of photosynthesis. Stage 3. CO2 is added to a cycle of chemical reactions to build larger molecules. Energy from the light-dependent reactions is used in these reactions. Stage 4. A molecule of a simple sugar is formed. The sugar, usually glucose, which is C6H12O6, stores some of the energy that was captured from sunlight. The equation for the whole photosynthesis process will be shown on the following screen. As you can see, there are many arrows between the reactants CO2 and H2O, and the products, the 6-carbon sugar and the O2. Those arrows tell you that photosynthesis has many steps. For example, the light-independent reactions need only one molecule of CO2 at a time, and the 6-carbon sugar comes from a reaction that combines the two 3-carbon sugars. Also, enzymes and other chemicals are needed, not just light, carbon dioxide and water. Glucose and other simple sugars, such as fructose, are not the only carbohydrates that come from photosynthesis. Plants need the simple sugars to build starch and cellulose molecules. In effect, plants need photosynthesis for their growth and development. You will learn more about the importance of another product of photosynthesis, oxygen, in sections 4 and 5 of this chapter. This has been Chapter 4, Section 2, Overview of Photosynthesis. Key concept. The overall process of photosynthesis produces sugars that store chemical energy. Main ideas. Photosynthetic organisms are producers, and photosynthesis in plants occurs in chloroplasts.